tonight is our covenant night. I will show you how covenant work. And I would like you to enter this one. This day is a new beginning for every one of us. Tell God what you want him to do for you. And tell him what you will do if he blesses you and does what you want him to do. It's a covenant night, and it's a very important night. To many, it can be the beginning of your greatness. It can be the beginning of your unending laughter. It can change the story of your life. We are at the bridgehead. Those who can cross the bridge will go over to the other side of life. Those who are unable to cross the bridge will remain where they are. It's my prayer that you cross the bridge and join those that God has promoted already. I want to thank you for your prayer support for my wife and I as we went to Cameroon. This awesomely awesome God honored us beyond my imagination. When our embassy was asked to receive us and welcome us to Cameroon, they protested because the ambassador is a Muslim. I hear she said she had no time to receive any pastor. But I think Abuja spoke to her and said to her, if you fail to receive this particular pastor, you lose your job. When she called me, I told her I was too tired and I will not honor her invitation. She said, people's jobs are on the line. In your anger, show mercy. We don't want to lose our jobs. Well, I think I later changed my mind and went. We went. And there were more than, how many of them, madam? About 45. She brought together 45 people to receive us. That was awesome. She apologized publicly. And then the Prime Minister of Cameroon came to the hotel to see me instead of me going to see him. Anointing can take you to the highest level of life. Men and brethren, I'm about to show you something new, something you may never have known. Can we go to the book of Judges, chapter 11, we take verse 30. I want you to please show great interest.
Verse what's that?
Covenant is something you enter into from time to time. When you have exhausted where you are, you can tell God to bless you with a new beginning. You can tell God, I have reached the plateau of the crests. Show me another mountain. You can say to God, I have sat on this Mount Horeb for too long. I want to pack my sandals and possess my possession. You can say to God, I want something new, not what I have been doing all this time. I want somebody to read what the book of Judges chapter 11 verse 30.
And Jephthah vowed
a
vow unto the Lord. Unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord.
And said, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands.
You see, Jephthah was asked to do something he had never done before. He was asked to lead the army of Israel to battle. He was never a soldier. He did not know how to fight. Nobody taught him. And what is more, he did not expect to be so honored, having come from the wrong side of the road. Amazingly, God does not call those who are qualified. He qualifies those that he calls. And if he has called you to follow him, you may not be qualified to play the role he wants you to play and be the person you want to be. But tonight, we're going to ask him to qualify the unqualified and prepare the unprepared for greatness. And tonight shall be your own beginning, your day of new beginning, your day of doing what you have never done before. When that happens, the story of your life will change. Tonight I declare that the story of your life shall change. Jephthah was born by a harlot. Nobody honored him. Nobody respected him. I don't know if you know what it means to come from the wrong side of the road. People will look down on you. They will say you are nobody. They will say you don't have what it takes to occupy the seat you want to occupy. By the anointing of the Holy Spirit, whatever you don't have shall be given to you tonight. Jephthah was never a soldier, but he said to God, if you teach me. And because this our awesome God knows everything, he runs his own school for those who are his own. He prepares those who love him for greatness. David was in the forest taking care of the father's sheep when God called him. Somebody said he was living a life of a rejected person. While others cared for human beings, he cared for animals. That was the man God chose. I don't know what post God had chosen you to occupy. Tonight, we're beginning a new journey. We're going to ask God to look into your life. If a bone is missing, God will supply that bone. If there is information you don't have, God will give you that information. Remember, I said God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the unqualified he has called. I don't know what dream you dream from time to time. I don't know the voice that tells you of your tomorrow. I know there are voices that say to you, you can't make it. No, that was yesterday. Today we want to say to God, if you can bring us to our appointed place in life, we shall do this for you, we shall do that for you. Jacob said to God, if you can take me back to my father's land, I will pay my tithe regularly. And as soon as he made that promise, he came to what to call stable financial success. A place where he never ran out of money again. You can come to a place where you never run out of money again. Do I have anybody who would like to come to that place where you can't run out of money again? What we are going to do tonight may look small, but it can bring you, catapult you to a place of relevance, and a place of honor, and a place of promotion, and a place of lifting. Yes, sir. Who was reading to us? He said to God, yes.
Then it shall be
Shall be
that whatsoever cometh forth of the door of my house.
I want you to note what you are going to say to God tonight. And whatever you say to him, you must honor it. I said to God some years ago, if you give me a girl who will agree and accept to marry a preacher, who will accept and agree to live with me away from my culture, I shall never touch her. I shall never beat her. Even if she provokes me to anger, even if she pours water into my ears, I shall just express my anger, but I'll never lay my finger upon her. It is now 35 years. I have remained faithful to that promise. I don't know what you will tell God tonight, but I am insisting that you enter into a covenant with God. What is a covenant? A covenant is a solemn promise. A promise you will make and honor it. A promise you will not forget. A promise you will not give excuses. A promise you will make to God tonight and stick to it and honor it. Read on.
And it shall come to pass that when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's hand.
He said to God, whoever shall come out of my house to greet me if I win this battle. Whatever shall come out of my house to greet me, to receive me if I win this battle, I'll offer that thing to you, God, as a sacrifice. I think he was expecting a goat or a ram. No, it never crossed his mind that a human being will step out. And it turned out to be the only child he had. And this child was a girl. I'm sure you know the phenomenal relationship between a man and his daughter. It is indescribable. You cannot fittingly describe it. So what did he say?
So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hand.
And the Lord honored his own side of the covenant. Read on. The Lord, because whatever you are going to ask God to do tonight, if I know him well enough, he will do it. He will do it. Read on.
And he smote them from Aroer even till thou come to Minit, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mizpeh unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him.
And behold, his daughter. You see that behold is a sign of exclamation, a sign of surprise. He did not expect his daughter to be the person that will come out of his house to receive him. I don't know what God, when I wanted to travel out of Nigeria so badly, I went for visa and they said my Form 120 had expired. I had done my send-off already, given out my things. I got to the visa office. They said, my friend, your Form I-20 expired last year, so we will not give you visa. Hey, officer, I have already conducted my send-off. They asked me, what is send-off? I have given out my things to people, announced my movement to America. They said, sorry, you will not go. I wept and I said to God, if I'm granted entry visa to America, if anybody comes to my house and asks for any of my suits, I'll give him my best. The day they gave me visa, as soon as I got to Nigeria, got to Uyo, somebody came to me and said, I have just been given visa to go to the United States of America, but I have no suit. I said, okay, go to the wardrobe, take one. This, my friend, went and took my best. Brand new suit I had not worn. I was putting them together for my own trip. That was the one he took. I said, my friend, can't you look at other suits? He said, I like only this one. And God asked me, have you forgotten your promise? Yeah, so, I am ready, only that he took my best. There are other suits he could have considered. While I was battling through this in my heart, he came back with that suit and said, sorry, as soon as I got home, somebody brought me a newer one than your own, so can you take back your own? God asked me, when will you honor your side of this covenant? And I cried and said, God, give me another chance. As soon as I drove to the motor park, here was a pastor who lost his suitcase and lost his suits and was crying. God asked me, will you give him that your best suit? Offer it to him. Give it willingly. I quickly drove. I asked him to accompany me to my house. When I was bringing that suit, I said to God, touch him to say no. No, the man did not say no. The man saw it and said, oh, you're a wonderful man of God. My friend, what did you say? So you're wonderful. We are preparing for Miracle Convention. Let nobody attend that convention and come back the same. We are putting in so much money, more than we have done before. We are bringing the best that this country has to minister to us. In fact, I almost had to twist their hands. I said to them, if you don't honor this our convention, I will not honor your own. In fact, I canceled Okonkwo's own. He willingly called back to say, Oma, forgive me, I'll be there. I'll attend your own. But next year, you must attend my own. God cannot bring all these great men together without a plan to bless you in a very special way. Tonight, before we take our Holy Communion, I want you to write down 5 things that God must do for you in this convention. 5 things. I don't care what it is, but 5 things. Jephthah said to God, if you can grant me victory, he wanted only one thing. But I'm asking you now to write how many things? 5. Every time we attain, don't get to this river with a basket. You must come with either a tanker or a drum. Don't even come with a bucket. Come with something big. Something, if done, will rattle your family. Something, if done, will shake your friends. The second time I went for entry visa, after I returned to you, I fasted for 1 month, cried and said to God, I will not preach again until you give me entry visa to America. And God said, Uma, you will travel so repeatedly that you'll be tired of traveling. One day letter came, written by a governor, a senator, and a pastor. When I went to the embassy with that letter, they looked at me, looked at my height, looked at my fresh look. And they said to me, this cannot be your letter. You must have stolen the letter from somebody. You are too young to be invited to speak in a world convention. Heaven opened and God spoke to me. And I said to them, anointing is not by age, but by God's grace. They said the letter is yours. And they gave me B1, B2 visa. For 20 years, I did not know the meaning of B1, B2 visa. Until one day, my wife and I were crossing over to America from Canada. They asked me, who is the owner of this visa? It is for rich men. Here you are wearing bedspread. I was wearing Babarega, and they called it bedspread. Bedspread? Who is wearing bedspread? Say you. This you are wearing a bedspread. It's cheap material. Ah, I didn't know. Hey, everybody listening to me, this thing I'm wearing is known as Baba Rega. It's for rich men. This material is more expensive than your own uniform. So will you shut up your mouth and wave us on to continue with our journey? We are not poor people, and we are carrying first class tickets. Who told you we are poor? This dress is a lie. The dress says we are wearing babariga. Hey, white man, pronounce babariga. Jephthah said to God, if you teach me how to fight, how to deploy soldiers, how to arrange soldiers, if you show me how to defeat enemies, whatever comes out of my house to greet me shall be sacrificed on your altar. This is our God. Sometimes I think he's too intelligent for us. He went and brought out the only child Jephthah had. What did Jephthah say when the girl appeared?
And it came to pass when he saw her, that he rent his clothes.
He tore his clothes to pieces
and said
to her,
alas, my daughter,
you are among my enemies.
Thou hast brought me very low.
You have brought me very low.
And
You are
thou
among my
art
enemies.
one of them that trouble me.
You are among those that trouble and hate me.
For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord.
I have opened my mouth unto the Lord.
And I cannot go back.
You know, there are people looking at me this night who made pledges to God, and they have not honored those pledges. You are hurting yourself. Because the Bible says God will send an angel to destroy the works of your hand. Okay, let's see it in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 4, 5, 6. Have you ever made a promise to God which you have not honored? Yes.
When thou vowest a vow unto God,
when thou vowest a vow unto the Lord,
defer not to pay it.
Defer not to pay it.
For he had no pleasure
He has
in
no
fools.
pleasure in fools.
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
I said to God, if you honor me in Uyo as a preacher, I will not ask for salary. I will not ask for allowance. And people were asking me, how will you eat? How will I eat? God will tell me how to eat. What promise have you ever made to God which you have not honored? I want you to record that promise. If you want to move forward, you must obey that, you must fulfill, you must redeem that your pledge. You must redeem it. If God will lift you up, if God will promote you. Did you say to God, until I marry, no man will touch me? Have you changed that vow? God has not stopped waiting for you to honor that pledge. What did the daughter say? Read on, sir.
And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord,
if you have opened your mouth unto the Lord,
do to me according to
that
which had proceeded out of thy mouth.
What a great girl. Do I have any girl who can say the same thing to her father? Any girl here who can say to her father, can slaughter me? But don't you refuse to honor your pledge to God. I hope you know that this girl was a human being like you. She said to her father, I am ready to die if you promised God my life. And God did not stop it. We cannot be spending so much money for such a convention without we receiving blessings out of it. Our lives must be touched. Our destiny enhanced. Something must happen to show the watching world that we have just gone to the mountain and we have been with the Lord. Read on. What did the father say?
And she said unto the father, let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountain and bewail my virginity and my fellows. And he said, go. And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity unto the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned unto her father. She did with her according to his vow, which he had vowed.
The father did with her according to his vow, which he had vowed.
And she knew no man. And it was a custom in Israel.
A vow is a solemn agreement that is unconditional. Can we hear the book of Psalms chapter 89, verse 34? A vow is a solemn agreement that is unconditional.
My covenant will I not
My covenant
break,
will I not what? Break.
nor alter the thing that is
Nor
gone out
alter
of my
the things
lips.
that have gone out of my mouth. Whatever you're going to say tonight must not be altered. The words must not be changed. What is a covenant? A covenant is a bond. It is also a formal sealed agreement or a contract with witnesses that shall never be changed. A promise is a declaration assuming that one will or will not do certain things, but not a covenant. A covenant is a solemn agreement that shall be honored no matter the circumstances. This night, I'm going to ask you to enter into a covenant with God. Tell him what you do for him if he does what you want him to do for you tonight. And I'm going to ask us, badge after badge, this group will come first to the altar, and every one of them will present to God what they will do if God blesses them and honors them. They go back to their seats. 1, 2, 3 rows will step out and present their own on this altar, what they will do if God honors them. After they shall have done this, they'll go back, and then 1, 2, 3 will step out and pledge their own. After that, the elders will come. After that, we'll take the Holy Communion to seal it, to confirm it and to affirm it, and to attest that we mean business, and we shall dismiss.